Flat Talk. I'm always here, with my boy Virgil. Virgil, how you going?
Yeah, so far so good.
So as you guys know, it's another weekend, another edition of the Premier League, and the race for everything continues to heat up. So to start us off, we'll go into the headliner game of the weekend. Liverpool took on Chelsea at Anfield. The game finished 2-0 to goals from Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah in the space of 3 minutes. I was telling Virgil before we came on here, Man City and Liverpool are two such great teams that, at least for this season, the Premier League was almost like how La Liga has been for a number of years, where you have Real Madrid and Barcelona head to head at the top of the league, and then there's this big gap to the other top teams, the Valencias, the Atleticos, the Sevillas of the league, and then another discretion to the rest of the league. And this year we have been honored in such a way to see two really, really good teams go at it at the top of the league. We look at, there's a chance that if both teams win out all of their games remaining, which is very much possible given the strength of these teams, that we could be seeing a second place team that has only lost one game for the entire season. And I think that speaks to the strength of not just Liverpool but also to Man City. And I know not necessarily you would, but especially being an Arsenal fan and a team that's outside of that top bracket, we wouldn't want to see the monopolization of the league like what it is in La Liga, where Barca has won the majority of the La Liga titles. I believe in the last 10 years, Barcelona has won 7, Real Madrid with 2, and Atletico Madrid with 1. And obviously we don't want to see that, but it still shows the strength of these teams that they are competing at the top of the league. In this game, Liverpool were definitely on top of Chelsea, with the exception of probably 2 decent moments for Chelsea. One where Williams skewed a good 2v2 chance, one where Hazard created it with a moment of brilliance. Chelsea just weren't at their level, as they have been, unfortunately, in many of these top games, and Liverpool top men show up in this match.
Yeah, well, I know from this article, let's post that one to show you before. It said Liverpool has gone 38 games unbeaten in the Premier League at home, and their last defeat at Anfield was the Crystal Palace back in April 2017.
Wow.
And the thing about it, looking at that, currently right now Liverpool sits first, just with a game in hand for Man City.
Yeah.
But just looking at that, just looking at that, you're seeing how. Look how scary Liverpool looking that this side that Klopp built. Mm-hmm. And to have a record like that, and you're not even securing first.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That not only, well, for me, I'll take it out as that also showing how strong Man City is.
Yeah.
But also showing those two are not just, those two can't just be seen as giants in the Premier alone. They have to be seen as giants throughout Europe.
Yeah.
If Liverpool could be making those waves and everything they throw, Man City just going along and combating.
I think like they give on records in the league, show their strengths. We look at Man City's record, I believe, is 4 losses for the season, and Liverpool has 1, and Liverpool has 7 draws, right? And Man City has, I think, like 2 draws or something like that. And the reason I bring it up is that Liverpool's strength, unlike last year, has definitely been their defense. They've conceded the least amount of goals in the league. Alisson leads the race with clean sheets. Van Dijk is our PFA contender of the year, whereas Man City's strength definitely lies in the attack, where Man City's nominees for the PFA players would be between Raheem Sterling and Kun Aguero. And you see the difference in the results in such that when Liverpool can't score, you're sure that the defense is going to be solid. And whereas you see Man City be more on the attacking edge and trying to get the win. And sometimes, it works out where they turn those draws into wins. And sometimes it doesn't work out, where we've seen some years where they have lost. But just to focus back on Liverpool, before the game started, for those who don't know, my brother's a Chelsea fan, and I made the joke to him, in the last couple of games, Henderson has actually been looking really well, and I told him that watch how pivotal he's going to be in this game. And it's Henderson that showed up with the assist for Mane's opener, And just quickly on him, I just felt like in the last couple of matches, he's actually been rising to prominence and is much more box-to-box role. Klopp has actually came out and spoken that he felt like he has been misusing Henderson since he has reached Anfield. And that in this box-to-box number 8 role, he's much more suited to that position. And midfield has been a problem for Liverpool in such that, Keita hasn't always been in that good of form. He's now kind of coming into it a little bit. I actually thought he was pretty good in this game. And this midfield trio has lasted, not just this game, but the European game. And I think Klopp might have just found the solution in the right time.
Mm-hmm. Well, from earlier in the season, if you were to support a midfield with Henderson, Fabinho and Keita, you'd be like, You're the only person who you could rely on from the games before in that midfield would be Fabinho. But I said there's no role that Hendo step in, and the form that Naby in right now, there's just three looking set and just look at the competition, the people on the bench, Shaqiri and Wijnaldum. Right now Klopp have a solid midfield to work with on. You know him, and the type of manager Klopp is, he can make the rotation when necessary, but right now it seems that this tree might be the solid tree that might help push them towards reaching further in Champions League and battling out for the title race.
And when we look at the remaining fixtures, for neutrals that are looking onto this game, you're looking for that Istanbul moment, that moment back in when last time Liverpool were actually fighting for the title, where after they lost to Chelsea, they went on to draw 3-3 with Crystal Palace, and they kind of just looking for that moment where they provide that slip, where they just weren't on top of it. You look at the fixtures remaining, they have to visit both Newcastle and Cardiff, and they host Huddersfield Town and they host Wolves. Whereas the next two opponents, one already relegated, one very close to relegation in Cardiff, you look at Newcastle and Wolves, and they are a lot more sterner opponents, and maybe they might provide the challenge required for Man City to have a solid advantage.
Yeah, because I've been talking about how for just being a football fan, the excitement for this league will be going on to the last day.
Yeah.
But from looking at Liverpool point of view, they'll be looking at the games of Tottenham and United as okay, those are the games that we hopefully want City to draw, because after that it seems like pretty winnable games for City for their remaining fixtures for the end of the season.
Yeah.
But for Liverpool right now, everything right now is in Liverpool hands. Right now, all those games leading before the final two is winnable games. So the games that we see that you expect Liverpool to go out and just basically win by however much goals you feel they might win. That'll be the winning challenge. But just the form that that Newcastle hitting right now, and we all know Wolves is the giant killers. All Wolves could bring down any big teams to just a draw, and that's all that could decide the title. Just one slip up, not even a loss, a draw at this point.
Yeah.
But hopefully it goes on to the last day of the season, because that'll be very exciting to watch.
So just to touch on Chelsea real quickly, again, this game was kind of toothless in some respects. He continued with the lineup that people have expected, with the exception of Hazard played centre forward and Willian came into the side. I thought Loftus-Cheek was actually pretty good in the game, despite Chelsea not really looking that cutting edge. It's not much to say, because I felt like we covered this already in their loss to Arsenal and they lost to Man City before. And I mean, those games, well, the Man City game, they were blown away, and yes, this was only 2-0, but you never felt like even going to the game, you never really felt like if they were that big of a threat to win. You were more hoping that they could have drawn the game.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where Chelsea is right now, where you're not expecting that level of players. And somebody questioned their leadership before this game. When you look at the pitch, as much as Aspilicueta as the captain, where is the leaders for this team? When John Terry was there, they were much more stern away from home than they are now. And you look at the game, and again you're asking, who here could really be a leader? Mm-hmm. As much as we would want to continue talking about this game, we have to move on for the sake of time. And we go on to, again, their partners in Manchester City. We're now speaking about the almost invulnerability of Liverpool. And even though we didn't cover it yet, in the Champions League, Man City have shown some vulnerability as they lost to Spurs. And as much as there's another leg this week, we look at the fact that Man City do seem, of the two, slightly more beatable in between Liverpool and Man City. And Man City has to face Spurs and Manchester United still. And while this weekend was definitely a very much ordinary win for them, you have to think that they need to be a little bit more stepping up from them in these big games.
Yeah, well, I'd say coming on to this part of the season is, players will be tired, a lot of mental and physical exhaustion. But this is the moment that City, this is the real test for City. The last season, you can't look back on last season because City basically ran out with that title.
Yeah.
But no, the depth needed, because, and also the last season too, how they were unlucky in Champions League too. If they want to push far into Champions League and push for Premier League to the last day, this is the time. The depth have to be used.
Yeah.
Everybody now have to step up. They can't be okay, you prefer him to play because this one weaker. Everybody have to step in.
Yeah.
The introduction of, this is for example, the introduction of Mendy now come back. Mendy looks solid in this game. You're seeing that, okay, this is what we're missing. We also have another outlet for width. But whereas Zinchenko in the left back position, Zinchenko's add to the midfield, so creativity in the midfield.
Right.
But now, touching on that on the Champions League with Spurs, City got that wrong in the sense that, okay, going against another English opponent, you could see they had a little fear in that they didn't want to be knocked out by another English opponent because English teams know each other so well.
Yeah.
So, and going into this new stadium, you didn't know how Spurs would react. So you could tell that from the lineup, the two centre defensive mids, Pep was really trying to play for that draw and then push out all guns blazing at home. It could still be done, but
I have a question though. As being a Man City fan, where is the fitness status on Bernardo Silva?
Right now, Bernardo Silva, he came on and looked real good for the cameo he had in the last game. But right now, he's fully fit because
I think after, not because you're gross, but I think after Aguero, or possibly for me even level with Aguero, but after Raheem Sterling, he's definitely been up there for best player of the year for Man City. Definitely top 3. And I think you really missed him against Spurs in terms of, I think. I've always said that there's a grit that he actually has in the midfield that people don't account for, given that he's attacking midfielder, dribbling midfielder. And I think he was such a miss against Spurs. And I felt like you said, that Pep got a lot of things wrong in that game. I felt he waited until after I think it was around the 85th, 87th minute then to bring on Sané and De Bruyne. And we look at the impact given it was Crystal Palace, but they've lost to Crystal Palace earlier this season. Look at the impact that Sané and De Bruyne had this season, getting the 3 between the two of them, got the 3 assists.
Yeah.
And, that is some kind of impact that you would have won. Trippier isn't that solid defensively, Sané could have gotten at him. And, there are a lot of people that still expect, even myself, that still expect Man City to go through. But it's just that, Pep put himself in a much tougher position.
So, yeah, it's a tough position right now because, as you say, City rely on the attack, so it's not far-fetched that Spurs could get that one goal because the way how Spurs been playing, and we touch upon Spurs, we talk about the attack. But right now, the main thing for City now is the depth. Everybody have to step up. Bernardo Silva right now back, and they have to utilize those players. Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne reaching back into form. David Silva is still the player that he is.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that he really has dipped in form recently.
He has. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
It might really call for him to be dropped down, Bernardo and De Bruyne to be the two, flying aids in the midfield with Sané and Sterling wide. Just to switch over to Man City's opponents in Spurs.
Yeah.
I find this very funny. That Lucas Moura was the player of the month in August, right? And then almost disappeared for the rest of the season. And August has been typically a month where Kane doesn't show up, right? He scored, I believe, in the second to last or the last fixture in August. But it was a month where Lucas Moura showed up when Kane doesn't, right? I know Kane is injured and Lucas Moura shows up again. The funny thing is that Spurs have a pretty good record this season without Harry Kane being in his side. It feels very funny to say this about a player with 17 goals that he actually hasn't been at the top of his form recently. And this game this weekend allowed Poch, albeit against Huddersfield, allowed Poch to play with his players a little bit, do a little bit of rotation, play 2 on top with Lucas Moura and Llorente, and definitely reap the rewards. Son only came on in the 80-something minute. Didn't even need their star career to still put out a really top performance, and they, as much as we are saying that City are favourites to go through, you definitely can't see Spurs making it easy for them.
And that's the thing, it's with Kane being out, with Kane in the side is problems, Kane also decides his problems. The only thing that I will look at too is another type of creative player. Ali might be out for the
game
as well, but just looking at that game, Llorente was playing as target man.
Yeah.
The attacks coming from Son, Lucas, Ericsson being the creative outlet in the midfield. It's just those two, Son and Lucas. Those two could attack anyhow, and that it's so unpredictable. Son is so unpredictable. And Lucas has that same element to his game, and that's it. Because Son was causing problems for the first leg. I have to give that. But a player like Lucas and Son, both of them in really good form right now. Target man Llorente.
And Lucas scored some really clinical finishes, against Huddersfield. I really do see Poch mix it up a little bit for this game. Not to focus much in Champions League, but even with respect to the Premier League fixture, I see more like Son playing on top. Maybe a little bit lone striker kind of way with Ericsson and Lucas playing off of him. And when we look at the fixtures again going into Man City's league campaign, out of the 5 remaining fixtures, 3 of them at home for Spurs. Spurs are definitely making a new stadium very much a place to be fair to go into, because Man City went in lost, Crystal Palace lost, and given the opponents they have to face still at home with Brighton, West Ham and Everton, you don't really see them giving out too much points at home, I wouldn't stretch to say that they are a better side without Kane, because definitely Kane is the best player they have there. Yep. I just find I have no reason behind it why they are so good without him at the same time. I guess a lot of that credit actually has to go down to Pochettino and his ability to, even without a star player, to have them pull top performances. Going across London, we have Arsenal. We're now recording this right after they win against Watford.
Nervy win against Watford.
It really was, and the irony of this is that after Saturday, we'll get to this, when United won 2-1 against West Ham, where it was a very not that good of an attacking performance out of Manchester United, and where the opposition actually did really well in pressuring them. Being an Arsenal fan, I had to go through the game against Watford. And when we look at the game, Arsenal were very lucky in a lot of respects. I do think it was a kind of soft red card against Troy Deeney. Albeit I could understand where the referee came from in giving him it. It was an elbow. And, in these days, some of those things are so cut and dry that you elbow a player, somebody sees it, you're probably going to get sent off. And the goal itself was lucky. Aubameyang did well to pressure the keeper, but was a fortunate goal in the end. Arsenal didn't really have their attacking edge as they don't have typically in these away games. I can't answer as to why they are so poor away from home, yet second best in the league when it comes to being at home. I just think that you have to come to a position where you are okay with this. I think as being an Arsenal fan, you kind of have to accept the poor standard of defending at the club right now, and hope that Emery can fix it in the summer. And from now until then, hope that Leno continues to perform like he did today, Koscielny continue to perform as he did today, Monreal continue to perform as he did today, where everything that Watford threw at them was definitely wouldn't say dealt with well, but there were some really close moments, you know. But for the most part, they did stand up well to Watford's attack, and you have to hope that, you know, given that Arsenal's remaining fixtures, they only have one at home against Crystal Palace, and still have to go to some top teams in Leicester, in Wolves, in Burnley as well, you know. Sorry, another fixture against Brighton, I forgot. You have to hope that they could, you know, play good enough to defend well and just nick some lucky goals in the end, because just like with the title race, you know, the top four race is definitely going to go down to the end of the league.
Yeah, these annual, it's just so tough on an Arsenal point of view, because how they have a kind of bad record away from home. But similar like what we talked about on the last episode, for Arsenal and for the rest of the top 6 teams, this is not about it's not about convincing wins. It's about just getting the win.
Yeah.
And most teams you might look into that for playing at home, but Arsenal to go to these stadiums and probably get the early goal, or well, Arsenal will need to put the pressure on most of the team, because looking at teams like Wolves and Leicester, they are very attacking teams. They might and very attacking teams too, and other teams too that might just want to nick a goal and sit back.
I actually think like part of the problem with Arsenal, especially away from home, is that, you know, because when we are at home, the onus is on us to attack. You know, there's a lot more space available for more attacking players to do their thing. But like, I think like away from home, we continue to play with like two in the midfield, and I think that leaves a lot of space for the opponents to press us. You know, when we look at today, for large parts of the game, it was, even though Ramsey played as the number 10 or would drop back to help, you still felt like there were only 2 men in the midfield, and obviously they went instructions. But you know, you wouldn't want to be played away from home with just 2 men at the base in the midfield, especially given the defensive deficiencies that the team has. You know, not to stay too long on them, but as we just said, Manchester United. You know, at least I could see with Arsenal that at least when we are home, we play really well. And it's just like the well has gone dry for United in terms of good football. On a positive note, Paul Pogba is having his most productive season yet. Even though I personally would admit that I have been critical of him. It's no easy thing to take penalties, especially 2 in 1 game. I just scored both of them. I felt like this was a game where West Ham also shot themselves in the foot. The 2 penalties were kind of needless, in a sense that in the first case, Snodgrass bodied Mata in a position where he wasn't really that threatening. And then I also felt like in the second case, Fabianski did well to come out, close the angle for Martial, and he wasn't going to be able to get a good shot off. Frederick still went in a very aggressive manner to give another penalty. And on the other side of it, you know, West Ham were actually pretty good in the attacking sense compared to Manchester United. West Ham and co were very threatening to United's defence. De Gea was kept quite busy from the Hammers attackers, made some brilliant saves on the day, from especially when Mikel Antonio came off the bench. Felipe Anderson, I think, is actually a player that should be looking to move up the league this year. I think given his performances at the Hammers, he's definitely in a much higher place. I remember a few years ago he was actually linked with Manchester United, and I think the Brazilian has shown that he is capable to adjust the Premier League and could probably do better at a higher club. I just want to get like a feel about United after this game.
Well, I know this game had some controversy with the whole disallowed goal from West Ham, but one difference that stood out is one side have the here and next side over the here.
Yeah, I completely forget the disallowed goal, and you know, in my opinion, it was wrongly disallowed too. You know, and it could have feel kind of hard done by. But you know, if West Ham continue to put in performances like this, even though they aren't involved in the top 4 race, they could have an effect on it. You know, like we said, they still have to play Tottenham Hotspur, and you never know how that game might go. Moving it along, we actually stick it kind of close to time for once. We will have our trivia section. So, talking about Manchester United and penalties, Only X 8 goals in 2002-03 has scored more penalties in a single Premier League campaign for Manchester United than Paul Pogba, which was 7 this year. Who is this player? As I hint, he's Dutch.
Come on, Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, that's correct. Ruud van Nistelrooy, 8 in 02-03 is the only player to ever score more penalties in a single season. Manchester City, before his win against Crystal Palace, had his third longest winless streak against them, with being winless in 2. He's only ever had a longer winless league run against 2 other teams, one from England and one from Germany.
First off the bat, Everton.
Yeah, well.
Everton caused Pep so much problems first season back.
Yeah, I remember that 4-0. That's when, that when Lukaku was still there. That was a good
that
game.
was 4-0, 4-2. And the other one is German. How do you call it German? Yeah, because Barca days, Pep.
Yeah,
It's not that they call winless in Barca days. Gladbach.
Yeah. So Mönchengladbach with 4 games where they managed to go without a defeat against the Spaniard, and Everton with 3. And the last trivia question is, Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson have combined for 10 Premier League goals this season, the most by a duo in a single campaign since blank and blank in 98 and 99. Also 10. As a hint, one was French and one was Dutch.
Yeah, I remember the headlines about this duo, and I was there thinking a lot of the duos there. I was thinking about French and
Dutch.
And Dutch. And she used to play for a big team.
Yes.
They won a title.
Yes.
Dutch. Not Manchester United.
No.
Well, it's Dutch.
But they had their own French and Dutch players.
Yeah.
So,
If it's a Dutch big boy, it had to be Burkham.
yes, that's correct.
And French.
But the French wouldn't actually be the player, you would think.
Yeah, because I think I had those two. Oh yeah,
It actually isn't Henry.
The one I'll go with Anelka.
Yes. So Nicolas Anelka and Dennis Bergkamp in 98-99 combined for 10 goals. And the first time since then have been Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson. Not to stick on him too long, but Ryan Fraser has been rumoured with a move higher up the league to a club like Arsenal. And speaking personally, I would actually take it. I think, when we look at Sadio Mane, his numbers went extremely outrageous at Southampton, but look at how well he's done since moving to Liverpool. But I think you need to take these players when they're hitting their stride, going into their prime, and look at the needs in your team. And I actually do think there's a lot of need for creativity and goals from out wide at this Arsenal team. And I think Ryan Fraser, along with probably another winger, could be the player to answer that. And Callum Wilson could also probably get a move if they don't get banned to a club like Chelsea and probably do better.
And players like that, I say for players like Fraser and Wilson, I say that they should take the opportunity. And as you talk about it, and Philip Anderson, he right now in the middle, he right now on the good side. Whether West Ham strengthen, they could push for
a European spot there.
Or he could go to
it's clubs like that I think definitely should push for the FA Cup. Because Wolves, Watford, West Ham, these teams are decent teams, and it's only when the top teams win the cups is when those cup places fall into the league, right? But in the case that they don't, then the cup winners get it, and they should push for the cups, because you would think that players like Arnautovic and Felipe Anderson would want to be in Europe, So
they deserve to be in Europe.
Yeah, so. But we talk about Felipe Anderson, I would definitely take him at Arsenal, I actually wouldn't mind Felipe Anderson and Fraser as the 2 wide men. I think that both are the decent amount of goals and assists to the team. And your goal on the weekend?
It's a big one. It's a big one happened this weekend, but I have to go with the goal that capped off Lucas Moura hat-trick. His final goal.
that was a good goal.
That's my goal of the weekend.
And I would go for the big goal of the weekend and Salah. And I just think like what made it so good is that you would think, knowing Salah, that he's gonna want to cut his hair and go into the box. And the fact that he just takes one touch pass over Salah and slap it in the top corner, like keeper wasn't expecting that. That's what made it so good. And you know, we look at probably actually returning to formerly right there. We look at a really good goal here. Some good runs against Porter where he was just missing that little bit of finishing luck. And a really good goal against Southampton. He probably is hit the formerly right time for Liverpool to not just probably win the league but win the Champions League. So that's it guys for this week. Thanks so much for your support. You know, catch us again next week. Follow us everywhere, Twitter and Instagram at Corner Flag Talk, on Facebook and YouTube, Corner Flag Talk. We have a few announcements coming out for you guys, so look out for them. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.
Oh na na na, favor me. Oh na na na, declaration for this nation. Oh gosh, wake up to one day early this morning. Oh gosh, thank the Father for the mercies He's sending. Oh gosh, put on a smile and it goes on my back and out the door. And in my mind you start confronting me, but I can see them coming. It's a seed they planning to keep me from flying. But you can try on your walk. You see me this year, hey, tell anything I will overcome. Live like you want me to live and run. No obstacle that you bring and come. Could ever keep child I'm upside down. Inside and outside distractions come, but I will keep my eyes on your son. Seeing my little the faith be strong, declare till the kingdom come. Telling you, mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. Mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. Mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. Mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. I come to hurt some feelings, I come to make some noise. Your movements, them out of timing, just get me so annoyed. It's so bold-faced, want to have your own way. Depression and loneliness is sent to control me, but I say nah. Grace and mercy, follow me, but you stay far. Spirit to set to bother me, to keep me from flying. So you can try on your walk. See me this year, yeah. Try that the thing I will overcome. Live like you want me to live and done. No obstacle that you bring and come. Could ever keep trying upside down. Concentrate and step up. Can't keep it down, look and get up. Therefore I don't care what you have to say. I praise my God to lift it up. Telling you, mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. Mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. Mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. Mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. I feeling that I'm winning. It's the blessing over me. Mercy's a garden, favor a garden, blessings a garden over me. Mercy's a garden.